What's going on, everybody? My name is Christopher Mitchell, and I want to welcome you to my podcast, Sports Betting Pays. On this show, not only do I talk about sports, but I actually give you a glimpse into my life as a professional sports bettor. If you like this episode, then I encourage you to subscribe to my podcast and follow me on social media by visiting my website, sportsbettingpays.com. Having said that, I'm walking here in beautiful Las Vegas, and I want to talk to you today about starting over. Starting over sucks. Yes, sir. And he said Dodger Nation. I got Dodgers sweatshirt on right now. Dodgers play tonight, Game 4 in the NLCS. They're leading the Brewers 3-0 in the series. So the odds are heavily in their favor that they are going to go to their second straight World Series. But anyway, let me get back to the topic at hand. Starting over. This goes with life, but because this channel is all about sports betting, let me talk to you about gambling and sports betting starting over. Starting over sucks, and no one knows more about starting over better than I do, because I've had to start over literally 1,000 times in my gambling career because I would constantly self-sabotage myself. And the reason I want to make this video, I shared this message with the members inside of my private inner circle this morning. Starting over sucks. Nobody wants to start over. But in gambling and sports betting, you can't ignore the facts. And the facts are 99% of people who bet on sports, they're not profitable. They don't do this for a living. They lose money over and over and over and over again. And I'm going to tell you why 99% of people lose money. They lack patience and discipline, and they're full of greed. I know, because that was me. And because I've had a private inner circle for 5 years, and over 1,200 people have come and gone from my private inner circle from literally every time zone in the world. Every single person that came and gone and didn't become successful is because they lacked patience and discipline, and they were full of greed. So that's why I created my sports betting blueprint. It helps you win a small percent of your bankroll every single day, but it helps you have consistent results without ever risking and losing your bankroll. The reason why I and practically every other person who gets involved in sports betting has to start over until eventually they give up is because greed. They want to get rich quick. And I understand why. Because people are massively in debt. They live paycheck to paycheck. They don't like working at their dead end 9-to-5 job. And they just want a better lifestyle. So they want to get rich quick. They want to hit a home run in the game of baseball, so to speak. They don't want to hit singles. They don't want to make a little bit of money. They want to hit the jackpot. And that's the lure of gambling and sports betting. They feel, oh man, I can get rich quick. I can make a lot of money. But that's why they consistently lose. Because most people, they have small bankrolls to start with. A bankroll is the amount of money that you're able to use to bet on sports. So they have a small bankroll, but they place big bets. So they might have $500, and then they'll place $100 or $200 on a sporting event. Well, they'll lose that bet. So how are you going to recoup it and get it back? Half your bankroll's gone on one bet. And people do this over and over and over and over again, but yet they expect to get different results, and they're wondering, why am I not having success? Why do I keep losing? Why do I keep killing my bankroll? So what happens? They have to start over. Hold on, let me get a drink. So I just got back from Toronto. When you're traveling and you're around other people, there's always going to be someone who doesn't take care of themselves. So I have this hoarseness in my voice, and my throat is scratchy. So please forgive me. But I want to take you back in time 6.5 years ago. I was living in Columbus, Ohio. I just started gambling and sports betting. And I didn't have a lot of money. So I lacked patience. I lacked discipline. And I was full of greed. My wife was pregnant with my son. And I'm like, man, alive. Not only did I tell my wife I was going to take care of her when I met her, but now I've got a son on the way. I'm like, dude, I need money and I need it fast. So greed takes over. And then you start going to the casino and you see all the bright lights. You see all the slot machines ringing. You see all these people throwing chips around. And you literally think everybody's just a billionaire. Like, man, all these people have all this money. Man, what a facade that was. What a lie. Everybody in the casinos fucking broke. They're all impatient. They all lack discipline. And they're all full of greed, trying to get rich quick. Why? Because they all got bills to pay. They're trying to get out of debt. They want to travel. They want a new car. They want a new house. I'm turning around. The sun is coming from this angle, so if I go that way, you guys aren't going to be able to see me clearly. So, but starting over, it sucks. So when I started, I had a small bankroll, and then I would lose it because I didn't know what I was doing. So then I would have to come up with a new bankroll to keep the dream alive. So I would go max out credit cards to get some more cash, take out payday loans, cash advances, sold stuff at pawn shops. And every single time I would lose. Why? Because I lacked patience and discipline, and I was full of greed. I was trying to get rich quick so I could get us out of debt and give me, my wife, and my son that was on the way, give us this amazing millionaire lifestyle. So I would place bets that were way too big for my tiny bankroll. And I would sabotage myself over and over and over and over again. Literally, I lost every single day for months. I killed every single bankroll that I had. Why? Because I was trying to get rich quick. My bets were always too big for the size of my bankroll. And I'm telling you, that's what 99% of people do when they're gambling and betting on sports. And it sucks. My heart goes out to these people because every single person that joined my private inner circle over the last 5 years, every single one of them could have been rich today if they just developed patience and discipline and got rid of their greed. But of course, they were all in the same situation that I was once in, and that is they're trying to get rich quick because they want to change their life. So if you haven't figured this out yet, let me tell you, when you try to get rich quick, the only thing that happens is you're going to go broke even quicker. Hopefully that's a revelation, because it is. And until you accept that and you start placing small bets where it's impossible for you to lose your bankroll, you're going to keep sabotaging yourself. You're going to keep losing your bankroll. You're going to have to keep starting over if you refuse to quit. Most people, they give up. There's so many people. They still stay in touch with me. They came and gone in my private inner circle over the last 5 years. And some of them, they'll send me emails from time to time. Hey, Christopher, hope you're doing well. I just want to say I miss you. I learned some things from your private inner circle over the years, but oh man, I wish I would have listened to you. I wish I would have did this. Instead, now I'm working at Chick-fil-A. I'm still massively in debt. I'm broke. I hate my job. And it's sad. Because if they would have refused to give up like I did and just developed patience and discipline and got rid of their greed, anyone in the world can become rich. But that's the secret. So starting over, it sucks. But for those of you who are in the sports betting space, or you want to become successful betting on sports, I'm telling you the secret to success right now. You're going to absolutely have to develop patience and discipline. And what do I mean? Well, patience. It's going to take time. For you to bet on sports for a living, meaning you have no job, you have no boss, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want, you're going to have to develop patience. It's going to take time, especially if you're getting started with a couple $100. It's going to take time. Your bets are going to have to be a couple dollars. And where the people lack the patience, the greed kicks in. A couple dollars. Why am I going to waste my time betting on sports and just place a couple dollar bet. So for example, the Dodgers tonight. Let's say you bet on the Dodgers tonight and you only have $200. You know what most people do? They'll put the entire $200 on the Dodgers. And then if the Dodgers lose tonight, guess what? They're done. Their bankroll's gone. So what happens? They have to start over. And they keep doing that cycle over and over and over and over again. They never learn from their mistakes. Starting over sucks. So if you don't want to keep starting over, here's what you do. You develop patience and discipline, and you get rid of your greed. You're not going to get rich quick betting on sports, especially if you have a small bankroll, which 99% of people do. But this is what I've taught my members over the last 5 years, and I would encourage you to write it down and live by it. If your bankroll is big enough, and if your bets are small enough, and as long as you don't get greedy or emotional, you will never lose. Now let that sink in for a second. What do I mean by you'll never lose? Do I mean by you're never going to lose a bet? Of course not. Sports betting, you're always going to lose bets. But if you have patience and discipline, and you get rid of greed to where your bets are small, when you lose a small bet, you can get it back the next day. But you're going to have to take baby steps. See, in the game of life, when someone's born, they have to learn how to crawl before they can walk. And they have to learn how to walk before they can run. You see what I'm saying? But see, people come into gambling and sports betting, and they want to learn how to do a marathon before they even crawl. They're placing huge bets. They lack discipline. They lack patience. They're full of greed. They're trying to hit home runs when they can't even hit a ball off of a tee. You got to start small. It's baby steps. So, folks, I'm giving you guys $1 million advice right now. But most people, they won't listen to me. They won't listen to me because greed takes over. It's a beautiful day here in Las Vegas. But I had to start over 1,000 times. I kept sabotaging myself because my bets were too big for my tiny bankroll. And I was impatient. I didn't have discipline. But all the people that I see fail over the years, they fail for the same exact reasons that I did. They lack patience and discipline, and they're full of greed. So I'm just trying to hammer that home. If you want to become successful betting on sports, you got to develop patience and discipline. You got to get rid of your greed. You're not going to get rich quick. And even if you do, you're going to lose it as fast as you got it. For those of you that are brand new to me, so I do have a private inner circle. Not only do you get to copy the exact sports picks that I bet my own money on, but every person that joins my inner circle, I send them out a blueprint. It's a 365-day sports betting journal that you record every single one of your daily bets in, and it tells you exactly how much to bet on every single pick. And by the end of the year, you can literally amass over $500,000. Literally, first 12 months betting on sports, copying me inside my private inner circle, you can have over $500,000. And that's if you only start with $2,500. It's over 22,000% return on your money in 1 year betting on sports. But the reason why it works, if you follow it, is because it helps you create patience and discipline, and it gets rid of the greed because the numbers are already marked out. You don't have to think. You don't have to bet emotionally like, oh, I was born in Los Angeles. I grew up in Los Angeles. I named my dog Los Angeles. I'm going to die in Los Angeles, so therefore, I only bet on Los Angeles. That's called emotional betting. And those types of people, they'll bet huge on the Dodgers, and then if and when the Dodgers lose, they're broke. My sports betting blueprint, it gets rid of all the emotions because it tells you exactly how much to bet. And if you just start winning little amounts day after day after day, before you know it, your $500 bankroll becomes $5,000. And then you just keep placing those small bets. You continue to stay patient and disciplined, and that $5,000 becomes $25,000. And then over time, you can eventually become a multimillionaire like I've done. But again, that didn't happen until I developed patience and discipline, and I got rid of all of my greed. So I just wanted to share that with you. If you're sick of starting over, You have to develop patience and discipline, and you got to get rid of your greed. Most people bet emotionally, not logically, and that's why they fail. So hopefully you got something out of this. And if you did, I encourage you to subscribe to my podcast. You can also follow me on social media. My links are on my website, which is sportsbettingpays.com. I'll talk to you guys soon. Until then, have a great day.